Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Ne Zha 2, which is the sequel to 2019's Ne Zha, is not only the highest grossing movie of the year, not only the highest grossing animated movie of all time, but also the only animated movie to hit $2 billion. Crazy for a movie that not a lot of people here in the US have seen. The full title of this movie in China is Ne Zha, the Demon Boy Churns the Sea. And the plot to this movie is a little complicated to explain, but I'll try the best that I can. After the last movie, Ne Zha and his best friend, Al Bing, are struck by lightning, and they're basically given new physical bodies by a powerful sorcerer who's also the film's main source of comic relief. There's a big invasion that happens involving a bunch of dragons, so Ne Zha is forced to share his body with Al Bing, and they basically go on a journey to try and save Ne Zha's village, and there's a lot of action, comedy, betrayal, plot twists. There's a lot going on with this movie. I first heard about this movie when it came out in China earlier this year, and the only reason I even heard of it was because it ended up being the highest grossing movie of the year, making over $1 billion within China alone. And I heard some of my colleagues talk about this movie as well, but I never got around to see it. Apparently, this did get a limited release in the United States, but it must have been very limited, especially for Los Angeles, because I didn't know about it. Which is why when all the advertisements for this new dubbed release marketed it as The Legend Returns to Theaters, I was confused. I'm like, wait, was it ever in theaters here in the US? Apparently it was. So now that I've finally got the chance to see this movie and see what all the fuss is about, and is it really worth being the highest grossing animated movie of all time and the biggest movie of the year, I can say, yeah, it definitely warrants those titles. Now, I'm not going to say this is one of my favorite movies of the year or one of the greatest movies ever made, but I was quite surprised by this. This is especially the case when the movie first starts, because when it first starts, I thought, you know what, this is good. Like, it's cute, it's funny. I'm not too fond of all the bodily function jokes, like there's pissing in water, there's boogers, there's just so many gross out jokes that don't really appeal to me. And in my mind, I was thinking, well, these are the kind of jokes that I'd find in a Michael Bay Transformers movie, and those movies made buttloads of money in China, so I guess this isn't much of a surprise. But nevertheless, I was still enjoying the movie. I just wasn't like mesmerized or blown away by it. I basically watched that whole first half of the movie thinking, you know, this is good, but I don't see what the appeal is. And then something happens in the middle of the film. A big thing that happens that basically changes the entire tone of the film, where it goes from a cute, gross out animated movie to an epic on the level of something like Lord of the Rings or Avengers Endgame. And at that point I went, okay, I finally see what the deal with this movie is and why it made so much money. Because that second half is just mind-blowing. Like, it's got some real heart to it. There are many sequences that you don't see coming, some plot twists that happen that can take you off guard, but in retrospect, you're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And all the gross out humor is basically put to the side. It seems like they put all that stuff in the first half. That way, when the big gut punch moment happens, you're really invested in the movie. It has some of the most gorgeous imagery I've seen in any animated movie. There are sequences that just take your breath away. And the big final battle at the end of the movie, it might not be the one that I'm the most invested in, but it's certainly the biggest in terms of like a grand scale. Like, if you thought Return of the King and Avengers Endgame had big, grand final battles involving two armies, this movie tops that by 100. It is just a visual spectacle, and there's not any point where you feel lost in the action. It's done in a smooth, coherent manner. You can tell who's on what side. It is just beautiful to watch. The characters are fun. Ne Zha is based off a character from Chinese mythology, and when the movie starts out, I just thought, this is like some little bratty Bart Simpson with these unbelievable powers, and I'm a little annoyed by him. But again, as the movie goes on, I start to feel more for this character and what he's going through, especially when it comes to a big scene in the last half of the film involving his mother. That is really well done. If I had any issues with this movie, and it might be more of a me thing, but I just couldn't get emotionally invested like so many other people were, due to the fact that it is dubbed. Now, if there's one thing that I give A24 credit when it comes to the dubbed version of this movie, they did get a lot of voice actors. Like, the biggest name in this movie is Michelle Yeoh as Ne Zha's mother. And then you also have Vincent Rodriguez III from My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend voicing his father. But the rest of the cast doesn't rely on celebrity talent. So I give A24 credit for that. But I thought the overall direction of the dub work wasn't so strong. I don't think the direction is as solid as with whoever they get to dub Studio Ghibli films, because those movies, whenever they're dubbed, there's a lot more going into them that I feel than with this movie. And also, Studio Ghibli films have the advantage of that whenever the characters are talking, their mouths move up and down a lot. And this is similar with other Japanese anime like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, or Dragon Ball Z. Because their mouths move up and down a lot, you can easily dub them over and not get distracted. This is a CG animated movie where all the mouths have to enunciate what they're saying, and throughout the first 30 minutes, I'd say, I got really distracted by the fact that the dialogue did not match the mouth movements. It's the equivalent of back in the 90s when I would watch Godzilla movies, but they were dubbed. Like, it was just kind of hard to take those movies seriously when they're not presented in their language of origin. I'm glad that there's a higher demand for subtitles and to see movies in their natural language, because it makes you appreciate those films a lot more. And with Ne Zha 2, watching it English dubbed, I couldn't get as emotionally invested as I wanted to. Had I watched this movie in its original Mandarin Chinese, I feel like I might have said, get off your ass and go see it right now. But as it stands, I say worth seeing in your lifetime. This is not going to end up my list for my favorite movies of the year, but this is certainly a great movie regardless. It's got some beautiful imagery, the action scenes are fantastic, it's well-paced, it's grand in scope. There's a reason why this movie made the money that it did in China. Putting aside the fact that the population of China is 1.4 billion, this movie definitely warrants being the highest grossing movie of the year and the biggest movie in China, period. And there you go, that's my review for Ne Zha 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day. And if you want to help to financially support the channel, you could do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Ne Zha 2. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. See you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.